for Greatness podcast.
Kind of want to get to know you too, because like
After
we've never really
want,
officially like met and like hung out. So
We have not. Welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast. I'm your host, Lex Hunt, and I got Nico on tonight. What's up, Nico?
What's happening?
Yeah, he was just talking about how we really haven't ever met.
Yeah. I do know Wesley though. Probably
That's
more
my
than
dog, bro.
Probably more than you.
He
Longer,
probably
you know. That's cool because I was seeing some of your like Facebook and like Wesley being part of that too.
Yeah, Wes and Mike, that's my dogs, dude.
Yeah, they're cool dudes.
Yeah, Mike's a little wild, but Wesley's super chill now.
Wesley
chill.
used to be wild.
Oh, absolutely. He wrecked his Jeep and had to have open heart surgery, dude. Do you remember that? He flipped his Jeep over there like Carbonton Road, I think.
Oh, wow.
And or what's that road by the dairy bar? And Nico's from Sanford, guys, and so am I. So we'll be saying probably some. Or no, you're from the Philippines, but did you grow up in Sanford?
I grew up in Sanford.
How long were you in? Like, when did you move to Sanford?
I think when I was like 5, 6 years old.
So born in the Philippines, huh?
Yes, sir.
So both of your parents are Filipino.
Yes.
So it had nothing to do with the military at all.
No, more of the nursing, kind of like my mom was a nurse, and it's one of those times when like they had a pool of like working, I don't know what you call it, working program for the nurses, and she was pulled for one of them, and like she worked her ass off to be in America, and then like saved up some money to like get our visas, got us all here. Like it's amazing. Her story is amazing, and I wanted that'd be a whole nother book just to write. But like, you know, this small Filipino lady goes to America from Philippines, and like just works by herself for as a nurse, and saves up enough money by herself to get, I think it was my brother, my sister, and my other sister, and my dad. Saves up all that money for, I think, 3 years to get us into America.
Wow.
Like, can you imagine, like, just a foreigner working that much in a very challenging place for, you know, all that culture clash, and it must have been daunting, or it must have been scary for her. I can't imagine.
Dude, I can't imagine either.
So
that's a whole nother mentality that you have to make it in another country. And you know, and we were going to talk about entrepreneurship and how scary that is, but like, it's almost not even comparable to being an immigrant to another country, a nurse at that, and like trying to learn this whole language, you know, and like all the terms. You know, Americans have
fit in and like keep a job and like save money and like communicate to do what you got to do in a place that's very probably frightening for her, you know, like, because Americans are crazy sometimes. We're all crazy anyway, whatever nation. But like, it's amazing what she did in her lifetime. Yeah,
and like the pressure and like missing your family so much, and just the pressure that she probably felt like, I have to get my family here. I have to get my family.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff what she did. So,
what's the biggest difference between the United States and the Philippines? Like, what's something that stands out to you as far as, like, Americans and Filipinos, the biggest difference?
Well, obviously, the hair and skin of the color.
Well, culturally. Like.
Culturally, definitely, well, a lot of it has to do with, like, social governance. I mean, they're very much a communist. They're not, like, full-blown. They do practice some things that Americans do, but it's a socialist country. Communist would be like the extreme,
right?
And you know, it's amazing to know the difference and like really see it for yourself. Because like the last time I was in Philippines, it was like 2017. You know, I'm a little more matured, so I know a little bit of things about like societies and countries and like politics and government. So I was actually observing a lot about it, like the difference between socialist country to a capitalist country. And you know, I was asking questions around, and we'll go with this story. So I was asking around about like the rice fields and the terraces, and I was like, how come that one looks dead and over here it's like really flourishing? It's like, oh, it's because that was our traditional rice seed, and over there is an American rice seed. And it was amazing that, like, Americans own the copyrights to the seeds.
So the American one was the one that didn't look dead, is what you're saying?
Flourishing.
Okay.
Yes. So it was another thing that like caught to my attention. Like, rice is like one of the most. It's like number 1 or 2 compared to coffee and rice. It's a commodity. It's huge, like, and that's food, number 1. And I was like, wow, America has that much control. If they took that seed away from Asia, they would starve.
Wow.
So, and then I started asking, it's like, yeah, like, Americans own this seed and they just, like, release some of the patents to us to let us grow what they want or what we want to do. And so I started asking more things about, like, businesses and how they conduct. And, like, here's the big difference with their culture, or their society, is that you can have a business, but in 5 years, the government takes over everything.
Always. After 5 years, always.
After 5 years. So they allow you to run business for a couple of years, or 5 years in total. And after that, they'll come buy you out, and if they want to run it themselves, they will, and they'll give you a paycheck. But you will not own that.
And if they want to shut it down, they'll shut it down.
They'll shut it down if they wanted to. So it's like...
Wow, 5 years. They give you 5 years, and then come in and take everything.
Yeah. And because it's their government grant, and that's one of those things that, like, kind of is a huge difference between, like, entrepreneurship in America in comparison to Asia, mainland Asia or Philippines, or in other socialist countries. And it's not to say I'm talking crap about them, but if you put them two in a competition of who's going to make the most money and who's going to go the furthest, capitalist, all day, every day. And, you know, with that experience, like, really taught me a few things about, like, why societies act this way. And it's a transcendent from, like, generation to generation, how people behave and why they behave this way, especially when it's talking about 3 levels of government: socialist, communist, capitalist. And it's like that transcends down this type of behavior for everybody. So, you know, like, Filipinos tend to, we have this tradition where if you're the wealthiest in the family, or like the brother's like the most wealthiest or has the job, he pays for everybody. Like, when we're all sitting down on for food at a restaurant, the person with the most money pays. And they also expect that person will pay for everything else, which is a very socialist ideology. So, you know, they're always asking me, like, hey, I need money. And I do give them money when they actually respectfully ask me, and, like, if it's an actual dire necessity, of course. But then there's some that just assume that I'm going to give that money. I'm going to work my ass off till the day I die so that everybody else can live off of it. And that's a very socialist way of thinking.
I see exactly what you're saying. It trickles down
and it trickles down to the family life.
Dude. How long has that country been socialist? Like, as far as you can remember, probably? Or
I don't think there's ever been any other, like...
So, similar to Venezuela, maybe? Or is Venezuela...
So, Venezuela...
Worse, right?
They tried out capitalism, and they flourished.
They're one of the richest countries, right? At one point.
They became a very rich country, and they introduced socialist ideologies, and within 2 years, bankrupt. Just they're right back to square zero, pretty much.
Crazy, man.
And they do that a lot. And they
That's
keep
crazy.
It that way.
I would never think that, like, that the government... But, you know, you're right, because it kind of trickles down here, too, because we expect you to get your own money. You know, like, there's not a lot of people asking me for money, you know? Like,
right.
I don't ask my parents for money. Like, they don't ask me for money. You know, I just don't have a lot of people asking me for money, you know? So, I don't know. You're right. It does kind of... That's something you don't think about as an American, because for us, it's always been capitalism. Like, make your own way, figure it out. Or just for me as a kid, I had a lot told to me, like, hey, figure it out. You know, I'm not going to help you do this. You're going to have to figure it out. And it taught me how to solve problems. So like I do that to my kids. Like my little boy is 5 and he was out there crying with that dirt bike today because he couldn't pick it up. Like he laid it down and couldn't pick it up. I said, stop crying and calm down and listen to me. You stand on the side and you grab it. I didn't even come across the fence. I was just telling him, like, stand on the side, grab it, by the handle, use your weight to pull it up. And he was like getting so pissed off. Yeah. And I was like, just take a deep breath and try it again. And he did. He got it up and he got it back into the garage. But if I would have just went over there and done it for him, he wouldn't have learned anything, you know?
Exactly. It's a great learning curve.
Yeah, well, that's how I was taught to, like, solve problems. And I think problem solving is super important, especially, I mean, for any human being. But
absolutely.
Entrepreneurship, you don't really have anybody. Like, you may have a mentor or somebody you respect that's had their own business for a while you can turn to and ask. But for the most part, you kind of have to make your own schedule. You have to work to make money. You don't make money unless you work. I mean, unless you have employees that are making you money, and you know, if you're at that point. But if I'm not working, I'm not making any money. You know,
same here.
I mean, if I'm out fishing for fun, I'm not making any money doing that. I might make $1 off a YouTube video or something. You know, but that's I spent $30 to go out there, $40 to go fish. So anyway, like that's one thing for me. I was telling you, I just started doing everything on my own, and like I'm contracted out to do roof work, like to sell roofs and charter captain as well.
Nice. So you run 2 businesses? Yeah,
2 businesses. And it's like I get up, dude, the freedom and like getting up in the morning and not feeling I don't have to be anywhere at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I don't have to work till 5 if I don't want to.
I can vape in here, right?
Absolutely. I don't, like, when I get up in the morning, it's like, tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to be stoked. Like, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to wake up early as shit, because that's how I do. I'm going to wake up early, dude. I'm going to make some coffee, and I'm going to I'll watch some Sports Center. I'll wait for my kids to wake up. I'm like, all right, buddy, let's, you know,
You must wake up really early.
Yeah, I get up really early. I get up before them every
Did they go to school already? Or?
Yeah, they go to daycare. So my little one's about to start kindergarten. So he'll start like real school in a few months. But yeah, I get up early, dude. I like to get up early. But just getting up early and not having to check in on this app or clock in on a time clock and like have to account for where I'm at to another person, like it's a great
sick
feeling, bro. It is sick, and I was scared, dude. I was so scared to do it.
How long have you had your business for?
3 months, 2.5.
The first one.
They had kind of happened at the same time. So
wow.
Yeah, so I wanted to fill in my time where the weather's bad, or when people cancel on charters. I want to fill it in with another business. And my buddy runs a roofing business. He says, you can come, I'll contract you out. You have your own LLC, and you have to take care of everything. But I have the crews to build the roofs. You sell the roofs, so I get a commission. We split commission basically between me and that guy. So. They started about the same time, like 3 months ago. And I was so stressed before that. Like, I did furniture repair at Ashley, and I love it. I love doing furniture repair. It's like I love to do that.
So you knew how to use the hammer before you went into this new one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was doing furniture repair, and Ashley is a privately owned corporation. So they privately own corporate franchise or something like that. Anyway, the guy that I worked for 9 years sold the company to some assholes, like corporate assholes, and they came in. And they started micromanaging everything, and I got super stressed. Whenever he told me he was selling the business, I went and took the class to get my captain's license. I'm like, I need a backup plan here, because this ain't. I had a feeling it wasn't gonna like vibe with me. It wasn't gonna.
Right.
And it didn't at all. And so I quit one day. I was just like, I don't need to give y'all notice, because I ain't been working for y'all but for 2 weeks. What are you gonna do? Give me a good reference? I'll get my reference from the dude I worked for 10 years. You know. Yeah. So I was like, I'm out. And it felt so good. I took like 2 weeks off, dude. It felt so good. I went to the Hilton Head, and I was scared, bro. Like, I was so scared to start my own. Like, did you feel like that at all whenever you were going out on your own?
Not really.
It was pretty chill for you? Like, you were pretty laid back about it?
I did my numbers. I think fear is something that kind of is excluded from me. I mean, there's some fears that I have, but, like, that was not one of them. It was actually more about doing my numbers, noticing and knowing that, like, the income that I provide as a tattoo artist, that, I made 60% commission from where I was previously working. And it's like, so that 40%, like, that goes back into the business, or the commission that goes to the shop, was enough to hold a business. I mean, yes, there were like, I think like 5 or 6 other artists in that shop that I was working at. So Red Wolf Tattoos in Raleigh, over there in Western Boulevard. And seeing that those numbers is like, okay, I can make that much, and that 40% goes into the shop. It's like, okay, so then what about demographics? I was like, and it was at that time also that I was battling my mother's cancer. And so we'll start with that, I guess. But that after she passed, we were battling for a year, and then it was troublesome for everybody. But after that, I made this really big decision for myself. It's like, I need to really do what it is that my mother has taught me. And my father. I mean, my father's still with us, but like, if they can do that, if they can go to a different country and be successful, then like, I have that potential. Why should I be fearful? Like, maybe they were, but I think they just like got past it. It's just, fear is just a thought. So like, they moved past that in the same way I did. It was like, my mother was strong, so therefore I am strong, because she taught me great ethics. My mother worked, like, I barely saw her. And she was always working at the nursing, and worked like 3 jobs sometimes, and like, it was insane, but like, she was a workaholic. So I was like, I have all the knowledge for this, and I have all the skills in me, and plus
it's in your blood, it's in your DNA.
It's in my blood.
Yeah.
If that be the case, I also did study business admin, so I had the knowledge for it too, business administration. I just got an associate's, kind of like an introduction to business.
Right.
But it was really helpful because I needed to know how to sell things. I knew how to draw. I knew how to art, but I didn't know how to sell it properly. So I got my degree, and with that knowledge combined, I was like, I can do this. After my mother's passing, I was like, I need to put my foot down. I need to take it seriously. And so I was in Sanford, and like, God's send, like, one of the shops that I was working for, my first shop that I worked for, the boss there was like, hey, I'm going to sell my shop. Do you want to buy it? And hesitant because like, I didn't want to be there. It had a really bad reputation. I'm sure people that knew Sanford and that tattoo shop called, God, it's been so long. Brick City Tattoos.
Brick City Tattoos
was a shitstorm. So he offered me the shop, and I was like, let me think on it, because I got to go to Philippines. That was in 2017 to tell the family of my mother's passing. My dad went with me, and I went to go make sure that he's going to be okay, because he just lost his wife.
Right.
And and it was funny because the Brick City had done this. They went viral for a really bad thing. Like, the guy, Matt, he also has passed, and God rest his soul. But like, he was tattooing and passed out in the middle of it, and he was being recorded. And I think it was a sting.
Oh, no.
It was a sting, because like, it was just like, why would you do this?
I think I saw that video, dude.
I'm sure you saw that video. It went viral. And I was in Philippines.
When it happened, you were in the Philippines?
I was in Philippines when that happened. I was like, I can't do this. Like, that is a terrible, like, reputation to have. Like, and so here's really the reason why I took this on, because he offered it for $5,000 at first. The whole business.
$5,000.
$5,000. And now I'm about to say this in disclosure that I've never mentioned. So I came back from Philippines, and I was like, I don't want the business. And he was like, I'll drop it for $2,000. I was like, oof.
$2,000.
There wasn't really much anything else in there.
Wow.
The only thing worth that was in there was the big tattoo sign in front of the shop, which is nearly $1,500 to have. And obviously, it means that I'm taking over the lease. That was the money exchange.
Right.
Because like when I went in there and like renovated everything, I broke everything down, stripped everything down to like straight white walls, and just like fresh it. I want to make sure that nothing in here reminds me of how it used to be. And so on and so forth. 3 years later, it's a really awesome shop.
That's awesome, dude. That's so sick.
So it's been really fun. Like your experience with like having your own like work shift, and like it's very like eye-opening and like very appreciated. You take pride in that because like I do that every day when I feel like, or if like I've been going through a season of troubles, or like, you know, maybe financial problems, or like just feeling rejected, you know, the feeling of loss of something. But then I wake up about it and just like, I'm fine. You know, I make my own decisions. I am the ruler of my destiny.
So sick, right?
Like, if I fail, I allowed myself to fail. If I win, I have every right to claim my win. Not my administrators. There's no administrators. It's just pretty much me and Dragon there. But, like, I'm making my money. Like, my clients love me. They keep coming back. I mean, they keep coming back to get hurt. But I give them a good piece of art. You know, you got to imagine you're 6 hours or however long someone's under the machine, and they're hurting. They're hurting. You can feel it, like, you know, the vibrations, and like see it in their face. You can feel their body's energy in a way, and it's just like, God, why do you keep coming back for me, bro? Like, this is hurtful for me. Like,
that's how you know your art's good.
Yeah,
they keep coming back.
And they keep coming back.
Damn.
So I love my clients for like being part of like this win in this business, because like, you know, I can't do it without them, but I also give them the highest of regards. And one of the advice I could say is like, cater to the clients you want, because I test that every 3 years. I have like a plan that I want to like try out. One of them was like, I want to, this is before I had my own business, but like I developed this formula or like a strategy that like, I want to have clients that are successful. I want them to be CEOs. I want them to be entrepreneurs. I want them to have money, obviously, so they can afford this. And like, so I started like doing marketing towards those people, like creating videos that like look good and like, you know, it was aesthetically pleasing, and like really pushing myself for like those types of clients. And like, you know, I mean, yes, I give everybody the same fair chance and equal opportunities and anything that they like, you know, I can provide for them, but it's like, but then again, I got to cater to these folks, because they're the ones with money. And it's one of the numbers for that with the business that I have now is because I'm really close to a military town. And Fayetteville, and they love tattoos. You know, they like 80 to 90% of militants are going to get a tattoo. So it's like...
That's why there's so many tattoo shops in like
in Fayetteville.
Jacksonville, Fayetteville.
Oh my God! I think they have like at least 46 shops now in Fayetteville. 46 tattoo shops, and like it's crazy how that's growing. But like it's also great to see that shift in the tattoo world becoming very much more like public, and people really enjoy it, and like they're just. Everybody wants a tattoo. Nearly a lot more people want tattoos. People that you wouldn't even think wants a tattoo are getting tattoos.
Yeah, my mom and dad both have tattoos.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They go to Doug at Pandora's Box, I believe.
Also, they still live in
Sanford? Yeah, they've been in Sanford, both of them, their whole life. And me and my old lady are really working on them, trying to get them down here. because my little brother lives right up the street. So like my little brother, let's figure out what's going on with this.
I think it may have reached its recording limit.
There you go. We still rolling.
Still rolling.
Mine was like 9,000 degrees when I just grabbed it. That GoPro, dude.
Oh, was
I don't know what the deal with it is. I'm gonna just use my phone camera. But yeah, they still live in Sanford. We're working on trying to get them down here, dude. So we have like, you know, a little help here. But my little brother's awesome, dude. He'll come sit with the kids. Some old lady can come to the comedy shows, and like she came to a show last night or Friday night. I had a show.
Awesome.
Really nice. Nice bar, and I'd done it before, but it was like all people our age when I was there before. This time, dude, there was like 20 people that were over 65. And I was looking at my jokes, and I was like, these are bad. Like, these are not good for this crowd. And I was like, should I change them? And I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, look at what I have on the sheet. It's like butt fucking and just like all kinds of terrible stuff, you know? And I'm like, all these people are so old, dude. And I was like, I'm just going to mash the gas. So I went up there and I mashed the gas on them, and they liked about 75% of what I said. They liked about 75% of my jokes did good. And it was a lot of them where I was like, the back of the room was like our people, you know, at the bar, and they were loving all of it. But then I started doing a little crowd work and telling them, like, I know that you don't like what I'm saying, what my jokes are about. They're pointless to you. But, like, they respected that I was real about it, and that I just had fun, bro. I did 22 minutes. It's the longest I think I've ever done. And
you know, I gotta respect the fact of comedy, like stand-up. I have, like, hands down, like, and I appreciate the fact that you're doing that.
Yeah, it's fun, dude.
I'm sorry I haven't been to you on your shows.
Oh, it's all good.
You know, I don't live in Wilmington.
Whenever I go to RBC Center, I'll let you know.
Oh, I'll see it on Netflix.
Yeah.
They are pushing on, like, a lot more stand-up. So, like, you're destined for it.
I'm going to film my own stuff, dude. I'm going to probably, after, I've only been doing comedy 3 years.
Nice.
Probably 3.5 years, minus, like, 9 months for the pandemic. So, 2.5, 3 years. So, once I get, like, 8 years of doing it, maybe a little less than that, I'm going to film my own special. I'm going to just film a special myself, set cameras up, have a couple of my boys just handle the cameras and just edit everything myself and do it in a little club and like just have it raw, like this is what it's like when you come see me. I'm not famous, but I have a good time. Dude, I have a good time now, and it took me a year and a half to get. I still get nervous, but like,
it's good that you're nervous.
Yeah, but like now I'm like, this is fun, you know. Like, I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about, not just what you want to hear about. Like,
right.
I don't know, dude. I had so much fun Friday night.
I'm glad you did. Justin Davis was there. I was like, oh, you went to a show?
Yes, Justin Davis was there, dude.
Awesome.
So cool he showed up, man. A lot of people hit me up and say they're coming, they don't show up, which I get it. People are busy, you know, but I didn't ask you to come. Quit telling me you're going to come. You know what I'm saying? But
when people say they're going to show up, or like, you know, the same in my business, like, yeah, man, I'm going to get tattoos. Like, I appreciate the fact you want tattoos.
Yeah, let me get a deposit. I'll give it back to you when you show up. That's what I'm going to start doing. Give me a $20 deposit. I'll give it back to you when you show up.
Oh, that'd be a good pickup line on that.
Yeah. But, dude, I'm starting to have fun with it, bro. And it's like...
Got to.
Dude, it just makes me so more thick-skinned, and, like, not a whole lot of stuff bothers me much anymore, because if you bomb in front of a crowd, that's terrible. Like, the feeling is so bad.
Have you ever bombed in a show?
I have. I started one show off roasting homeless people, and I could not get the crowd back because I was just joking. I was just joking about how I made up this whole extravagant thing about how COVID came from homeless people, and it was just made up. It was just stupid. It was made up, and I could not get the crowd back, and I started picking on people and being, like, funny but also a little nasty because I was pissed that I wasn't getting what I wanted from them.
Yeah.
But, yes, I definitely bombed at Dead Crow before. Dude, I bombed at Dead Crow. I guess I semi-bombed at Dead Crow like 3 weeks ago. I went up and did all new stuff about what I looked like that day. I was wearing like this fake Versace thing that I bought off Instagram. Like it looks like, I guess Versace. It's like gold and black with like, I look so ridiculous. And like I had 15 jokes about how I looked. I was like, I look like a homosexual oil baron, and like just saying all kinds of crazy stuff about how I look. Yeah. And like the crowd kind of liked it, but they're like, who is this guy? You know, and I kind of bombed them, but I feel like, dude, if you're not like taking risk up there and chances, like if I do all the jokes I know,
then you're not being funny if you're not taking the risks.
Yeah, well, so I have jokes that I know work, and I have them down. I know them. They're like boom, 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 boom. Right. You know, but it's like if I'm always doing those, I like to do crowd work because you never know what people are gonna say, and like that could mess you all up. But you have to be like sharp. Like Andrew Schultz is really one of my favorite comedians. Patrice O'Neal, he's dead now, but Bill Burr, I love Bill Burr. Love Bill Burr, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle's probably my favorite.
How is he not?
Dude, he's amazing, dude.
Like genius for.
I watch him. I'm like, I'm not doing comedy because that's comedy. Like I'm not even doing like it's. You can't watch Dave Chappelle and think that you're on any close of a level at all to that.
Yeah,
like
that dude's the god.
It's amazing, dude. Man. It's amazing. But yeah, it's fun, dude. I love it.
With the respective stand-up, is like, and they change throughout the seasons of like how society is. One big reason why I really respect comedians and what they do is because like when things are going to shit, like the economy right now, or maybe bad politics, like being political correctness, well, comedians are the guys who's going to turn everything around and have fun with it.
Absolutely. Like it's not that serious, guys. You know?
Exactly.
I'm a comedian. I'm telling jokes.
To just turn it around to give somebody a smile, and people, like say for instance, political correctness syndrome and that like kind of woke mentality. It's like, no, stop it, slap you in the face, and be like, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, God forbid that like you don't do it in the wrong way that like you're gonna kill somebody, but like it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to like admit those things because like that's probably the funnier fact that you can admit to your mistakes.
Yeah, all people like we should all learn from that. You know,
right?
Nobody's perfect, so stop expecting me to be. You know, and if I'm on the stage being a comedian, I'm obviously going to say things that go against the grain of society. I'm going to say things that you might not like or agree with, but if I can at least get you on the ride with me, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, you can get off the ride at any time, but if we make it to the end and we still disagree, we get off the ride together and we're like, all right, we made it through the ride together. Like, it just seems like it's like a roller coaster ride to me. Like, it's like I'm at a theme park and I'm trying to get you to get on a roller coaster that you might not want to get on, but like ride it with me and let's just see if we have fun. And like, let's make it to the end. You know, that's kind of how I look at stand-up. And I lose crowds sometimes. A crowd is like, this is how I explain it to my boys. Like, they asked me, what's it like doing stand-up? I said, it's like doing an interview for a job in front of 50 bosses at once. And, like, all of them are, like, waiting and looking to see if you're saying anything sketchy or wrong. Or, like, if they're
Why are they even there if they're looking for something
wrong? Okay, so not necessarily... Okay, so the crowd's not necessarily looking for something wrong, but, like, it feels like a job interview, kind of. And you're, like, trying to get them to like you. But now I'm to the point now where I'm not going to try to get them to like me. I'm a likable person. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. And, like, it is what it is. You know, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to get paid, like, $50-$60 for 20 minutes. And, like, I'm going to get half a tank of gas in my Tundra for that, you know.
You're
like,
having fun.
And I'm having fun, bro. I'm having fun fishing. I'm having fun fishing, dude.
What you want to do.
Like, it's rad, dude.
Like
Life is rad, bro.
As an entrepreneur and business owner, and that's like, I get to do whatever I want. So I'm changing up some things in my shop. Like, we're going to appointments only. So I, like, go to work typically, like, 12 or 12:30. And I'm pretty much done by 5 p.m.
Sick.
And I'm like, because I've always just been, like, back-to-back, always doing some kind of work. And I'm just now just, like, at 5 o'clock, like, what the fuck do I do? I guess I'm going to go home.
Yeah. You do whatever you want.
Or, like, I'm going to go to the bar now. Because I can go to the bar. Yeah. I've been missing out on social life, man. Like... And, you know, that part's a whole other subject, but, like, it's great that, like, I go into my shop, pristine, like, it's catered to a good amount of, like, types of clientele. So that when they come in there, if it's an EMT, if it's a doctor, if it's a billionaire, like, they can feel comfortable.
That's awesome.
Like... Because you got to imagine, like, if I have a doctor or, like, a nurse coming in there and I have something off, like, cleanliness-wise, they won't come back.
It's the first thing they're going to notice.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for everywhere they go. It's just built into them.
So it's one of the other things, too. Women tend to make a decision after they figure out what your bathroom looks like.
That's very true. That's very true.
And so, like, my bathroom just, like, is just clean and just, like, it looks good.
It's important.
It's important, because I get it, you know, whatever women do in the bathroom, what they got to do, and they want to make sure that that's clean, too.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. I judge by the bathroom, too.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna lie. Like, if I go in somewhere in the bathroom, when my boy owns a barbershop, I was scared to go in his bathroom the other day.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't want to go in there and see that his bathroom wasn't nice.
Yeah.
I brought him a Pablo Escobar that I drew of him holding Pablo Escobar got locked up and he had the, I can't remember what it said, Medellin something. Anyway, it's like a old mugshot of Pablo Escobar. I'm like, yo, I got this in my bathroom at my house. I was like, I want to bring it to you for your shop. And you put it in your shop somewhere, like, as a cool piece, you know, that you can have in your shop. And he was like super cool about it and shit. And I was just like scared to go in his bathroom because his shop looked great, but I knew I'd judge him if I went in that bathroom and it didn't look good. It was probably fine. Shouts out to my boy Christian. It was probably fine, but yeah, dude, I judge by the bathroom too. It's important, dude.
It is important, and like that's part of like catering to like your clients, because like, you know, I want to make sure I feel good in there too, and if I feel good. And it's kind of the same way I do with my tattoo work. It's like if I feel good about like this design, they're gonna love this tattoo.
Yeah.
And for speaking about art, in general, in everything art, and I also believe everybody has an art. It's their innate passions that they're going to be successful with if they find it and work on it and practice it and like constantly experimenting with what their art is. Stand-up's art.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing can be an art. I don't fish much. I'm trying to learn it more and I'm trying to enjoy it, but I do like being on a boat. So it's like, but like everything, by throwing a football, by writing prescriptions, if you're a doctor that has an art. I don't know what they do. Like, you know, I'm not a doctor,
right.
But like, they find that art. And when they find that art, it is the most beautifulest thing for anybody to be in, just because like they never work a day in their life. That quote that they always say.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like that. So it's like, in my view, when I see things equally, it's like I try to find the art in someone, especially if I'm trying to figure them out. I'm trying to find your art, and like, what is it you're passionate about? And it just like, and when I can find that, then I can see it for who they really are. And like that, it's a great process to see and like to experience that with somebody. And like everybody has an art, and I want to see that for everybody because that's what they're gonna be able to be successful in. And it may be tough for anybody to see that, like, oh, because everybody says I had talent. It's like talent was not enough for me to be successful. I had to fucking hustle every day. Like with my tattoo, like I didn't stop at my shop just till like I was like, oh, I got a shop, I'm gonna be successful. No, I had to make sure like I push like marketing, my shop looks good, like it's a constant progress. Like my tattoo skills keep getting better. It's a constant progress. And like
never satisfied, always can do better. Like let's go.
Absolutely.
There's always room for improvement.
Always room for improvement.
Always, dude. That's my mentality. Like what am I willing to do to improve? Yeah. Am I willing to do these uncomfortable jokes? Am I willing to draw something that I feel like it's probably not going to be that great? You know, something that I feel like I'm not that confident in, but am I willing to do it anyways? You know? Yeah. I don't know. I have the same mentality. I feel like that mentality is so important to be a successful entrepreneur, dude. Like to have that, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to be satisfied with just having a shop or whatever, or having a podcast. You know, like I'm going to keep doing stuff.
So one of the things that, like, you know, hurts in a way that I see people with great potential, great talent, and they don't do anything about it, is that, like, it's like, dude, you could be very successful. And this is why I look for the good in everybody. Sometimes that can screw me over. But, like, you know, in comparison to a socialist country or another country compared to America, everyone that has a citizenship in America has the potential to live a life that they want. Every single one. I mean, I come from the Philippines. I'm a third-generation immigrant. I came from Like, when I was in Philippines, I literally, my parents, or my actual parents, I'm actually adopted, but like, they lived in dirt floors and like tin roofs that they found on the side of the road. And I hate to say that, like, you know, and they're probably gracious about how they live because they'd never seen anything above that. But like, that could have been me. Now that I have my citizenship, I've become successful in my endeavors. How am I different from you, from anyone that's living in the streets of America? How am I different? I shouldn't even have any of this. I have no privilege.
Right, right.
And so, like, I'm going to make a joke about some of those whiners out there, especially some of these 37, 47, 50-year-old white males that complain about their life. And it's like, bro, check your fucking privilege. Like, why don't you go to a successful person you know and try to get a job with them? Or why don't you use, like, your family's money to get a loan or something like that? And use it. Use your privileges. I don't know, this is probably tough for a lot of people to, like, what is privilege? It's like the people who look up to you and is willing to do something for you. That's privilege. Like, earned social capital. It goes a long way more than money can, especially if you don't have money.
Absolutely.
Like, people don't know how to use their social capital. And it's like, dude, I don't know much people. Well, maybe I do. Okay, maybe I'm humbled about it sometimes when, like, the people that I do know, because I don't look at it more as like, oh, I know a billionaire. It's like, no, he's my friend, but I don't look at him as a billionaire. Right. Even though I can say, oh, he's a billionaire guy, you know, but like, the fact that they're not using that to their advantage, the people that they do know, I think makes a huge difference. And like,
well, just having all those tools at your disposal, and just being like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, no,
come on, man.
I'm over here with my, like, experience or, like, upbringing. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Excuse me all the languages that I'm throwing out there, but like, good. We can be free, right?
Yeah, you say whatever you want, dude.
And it's just, I get really pissed off about it, because, like, you know, people that really undermine their own self. Yeah. And it's like, you know, and sometimes, and I'm taking up now, and I've been more open to this, and I try to be more open, and just not be so political correct. Like, yeah, I do watch what I say, so that I'm not, you know, hurting somebody. Yeah. But, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything anymore, because when I did, people were like, what'd you say?
How old are you?
35.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm 32, and it seemed like when I turned 30, 31, it was just more of like, I'm not going to try to like you. If I don't like you, I'm not hanging out with you, and I'll say, hey, how you doing? And that's it. If I have people in my life I have to try to like, I don't want them in my life. There's plenty of people that I like, and I don't have to try to like them. Same goes for me. Like, I don't want you to have to try to like me. If you like me, that's great. You know, I don't know. I feel like when I got older, dude, it was just way more chill. I was so less worried about what everybody thought, you know.
I mean, I think everybody goes through that in their stages of life.
Probably.
I think one of the most desires for human beings is to be accepted, to fit in, to have their tribe. And, like, if they don't find it, they go do some weird shit.
Yeah.
And, like, those are the type of people that end up, like, shooting a school or, like, raping and murdering people. Because, like, they never fit in society, so they forced it. And, like, it's kind of common. Not like it's like there's a population of these peoples, but I think there are probably. I don't want to leave any stone unturned on that, but, like, you know, it's also a thing of what Facebook is doing. Social media. And you probably know this just as much as I do, that, like, that one like or 10 to 100 likes is a synthetic way of feeling accepted.
It's fake.
But it's fake.
It's fake.
It's completely fake.
Not real.
But that same hormone, because you felt liked, sends an endorphin that is the same natural thing that if you found success in your business, like literally the same kind of endorphins. So this drug that Facebook gives you, those likes, gives people this false sense of like, I'm important because 100 people liked my stuff. I mean, it's good to have that, cool. But like, you see the rage with people who want those likes or pushing to get those likes. And I get it, if you're doing it in a business standpoint, it's good for you and for your business. I get it. But if you're doing it just for the likes and you're just like a shitty person in real life and you really don't have anything else, it's like they feel this importance about themselves and it's like, really, like, what are you doing?
You know we're going to get on our deathbed and wish that we didn't look at our phone so much.
I know.
And you know when we get old, we're going to be like, oh, man. It's going to be like high school. Whenever you look back and you're like, why did I have to have that pair of shoes? Or why did I care so much about fitting in and wearing the same clothes? None of that matters now. You know, now that we're adults, none of that matters. And I feel like when we get old and we look back and we're like, man, I was trying to get all these views and likes and this and that. And like, it's worthless.
It is.
It's worthless, dude. You know, there's so many people out there that have 100,000 followers and nobody would come to their funeral.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's sad. Yeah, it's tragic,
sad.
Man. It's tragic. Yeah, for sure.
And people are killing themselves over it. Like, I was in Yosemite like a couple of years ago in Vernal Bridal Falls in Yosemite, and they're like, yeah, don't go over the fence because like a couple of weeks ago, 2 YouTuber guys or Instagram people tried to take a photo, and the current swept them under, and the guy was swept under, and the lady tried to go catch that person to save their life, but they both died.
Man,
they went over the waterfall, and it's like, who the fuck would do that?
It's like natural selection, dude.
Yeah, so it's like, because they wanted to get like a picture of it for Instagram. It's like,
Life is picking people off just like it should. Back in the day, you get eaten by a tiger, and now you just take a selfie and fall down a river, dude.
Yeah. Like, you know what? Like, well, there you go. That's why you don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Learning process.
Ink therapy, solid apparels.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so people follow Nico at Ink Therapy on Instagram, right?
InkTherapyNC.com.
InkTherapyNC.com. Yeah. And people can book their appointments. He's located in Sanford, North Carolina still, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Any other business things that you want to play? You do photography too, which is amazing.
I do photography and video also.
Yeah. Where can people find that stuff? Do you put that out?
InkTherapyNC.com. Everything's like kind of centralized there. It's kind of like my portfolio.
Yeah.
Or I'm like kind of like all the things that I can provide for you. Is like, view it. I'm not trying to jerk myself off or anything, how many talents I got, but like, you know, photography, one of my close endeavors now, video, obviously tattoos. I do a lot of illustrations. Foremost, my actual talent is doing drawings, which the reason why I have an apparel business, because like, you know what, let me just have an apparel brand, because like I can just draw this stuff all day.
Sick. I love that. I love that.
So that's one of the businesses that I do, and what else? Digital graphics. I make NFTs now.
Do you? Okay.
I have an OpenSea account. I got a few NFTs on there that I'm going to sell. It's not taking off much. It's still so fresh in people's eyes right now, except for like people that are really sharing a lot, and NFTs are now a new thing. But for most of the crowd, it hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah.
Just as much as Bitcoin hasn't caught up yet. Even though that is great rage and like great profit for people that banked on that. Unfortunately, probably people are broke now.
A lot of people.
Like, yeah, a lot of people. Bitcoin millionaires are kind of probably stressed.
Yeah, that's all. It's non-fungible token, right? NFT. Yeah. So it's kind of like a currency, somewhat.
It is.
So like you pay money. Buy an NFT, that NFT, it's like an investment. The NFT could quadruple times 100 of what you bought it for if it was like a sought after thing like the Bored Apes, I think it was.
Yeah. So, as in an artist standpoint, and from my knowledge of what NFTs are and what the technology is, NFT is the same serial number that cannot be replicated. It's the same technology that is in your debit card or credit card. That little strip has a serial number.
Mm-hmm.
So only you possess that. So they realize that you can do that in a digital scale. Everything's digital anyways, like card. So that NFT becomes the only thing in existence. And it can never be replicated. And so it's usable as a matters of like, oh, for an artist. It's like, now I can sell that as the original thing. So to me, it's like a great idea. Unfortunately, the mainstream and the more common things, they haven't caught up to it yet. I'm not making a lot of money off it yet.
Yeah, but you could.
But I could.
Any
it's
day.
set up for it.
Yeah.
So that when people are starting to openly buy NFTs in the inception of when Meta really takes over after Facebook, now it's being challenged by Apple. Like, it's going to be such a huge boom to the economy, and the digital economy. And I'm hoping that my NFTs will get in there.
Hell yeah. Where can people find your NFTs?
OpenSea.com.
OpenSea?
OpenSea.
Like SEA? Like OpenSea? Like the ocean, or C the letter?
SEA.
SEA. What did I just say?
I think you just said
SAE? Did I just say?
I have no idea.
I can't spell. So OpenSea.com.
Is where you can buy NFTs, but if you go to OpenSea and look up okinpros.com, which is OCINPROS.com, or I think it's just OpenPros, and you'll see some of my NFTs on there.
Cool. Awesome.
But so let me just say what other people are doing with their NFTs. Are you familiar with the fine arts dilemmas? Like the reason why some of those arts cost so much, like a splatter on a canvas. And,
it's all about the value we place on it, right? Like the value society places on your splattered canvas.
Yes. But on the flip side of the coin, what people don't know is this is an exchange of power or buying power. So
Clout.
kind of. So I'm thinking to myself, this is a perfect opportunity for anybody to, like, say for instance, you have 10,000 units of something I want. I'm going to sell you an NFT that's worth that same amount. That NFT. And it's probably something that I'm talking about, black market stuff.
Right.
So they hold that value, right? Because that thing that should not cost $1 million.
Yeah.
But you actually got something else out of it that no one else needs to know about.
Right.
So that's
non-traceable.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's actually how big art has been. And like, especially now, the fine arts is kind of a shit show. Like they just, it's part of the elites, but like really they're just trading other things. And like, especially like warlords, they'll use other means to get your product, but like, but it's untraceable. But you got to get some kind of money out of it, right? So it's a good way for people to do it. And I hate that I'm saying this.
Well, it's like a Silk Road kind of. Remember Silk Road? Like that was like untraceable. People were paying in Bitcoin. Wasn't taxed. It was like the wild, wild west of Bitcoin. Eventually the government figured it out. But yeah, it kind of makes your NFT more valuable because, that's value there. That it, like, these things can't really be traced. We could trade this for something. We could do this behind closed doors. This doesn't have to be a above the table thing. It could be an under the table. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, and technically, it's also a tax write-off. That's really what a lot of big businesses are doing. They buy art or they'll sell art for the tax deductible. But it's not to be shamed about that. Like, it's like a lot of people have this hate against like billionaires and business owners, and it's also a common thing now and something you're going to have to anticipate being an entrepreneur now. People tend to envy what you do or what I do, or like business owners, and they kind of like pick and choose what they want out of it, and they'll wait for an opportunity of your mistake. But you did all these things great for them or the society in contribution to our society and your community, but they'll wait for that one little thing. It's like, oh, that's his problem. Oh, he's a bad person. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that one crack where they can just slide in.
Yeah, I know we're going different subjects.
No, it's all entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry about my cameras. I don't know what's up with these GoPros. They're like $700 or like $500. GoPro, you need to go ahead and send me another one of these because this thing keeps overheating, and it's a GoPro 9. Go and send me the 10. Nico, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Anytime you're in town, I would love for you to come back, and we'll do it again.
We'll have to do this.
You're friends with Chris Granner, too.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Chris Granner should do one because he is funny, dude. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's so funny. What were you about to say? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
He's a good dude. Oh, I don't even know anymore.
Thanks for the T-shirt.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Ink Therapy, guys. Check Instagram is Ink Therapy,
Ink Therapy NC.
Ink Therapy NC. How you say your last name?
My last name?
Yeah.
Boncales.
Boncales. And that's exactly how it's spelled. So Nico with 2 C's.
Yep.
You guys look up my man. Thank you so much for doing this. You guys, don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. We'll keep these podcasts coming. This is the first podcast I've done in like 2 months.
Yeah.
I've just been super busy, so I'm glad. I'm
Thanks
glad
for
you
having me.
dude.
Also.
I'm glad you came through. I'm glad you texted me. You did what you said you were gonna do. That's a respectful, upstanding thing, dude. It's very uncommon nowadays. I mean, I know you know.
Well, it's a common thing with real entrepreneurs because you have to be about your word.
See, damn, that's a great way to end it, dude.
Yep.
That's awesome, Nico. Thank you guys. We love you. See you next time.
Hunt for greatness.